We're often taught leadership is an abstract cocktail of personality and strategy, but put a team under pressure and that illusion shatters. During a crisis, organizational failure stems from a biological breakdown that overrides even the most disciplined strategic willpower. Look at what acute stress does to human neurology. When threat levels spike, the brain alters its routing. It shuts down executive functions in the cortex, responsible for planning and logic, plunging the individual into the neurochemical chaos of the limbic system. To guide a team through a crisis, a leader must first master their internal biological anatomy. They must actively balance their neural centers to process threat responses before making a sound decision. Effective leadership, therefore, relies on achieving a precise state of biological equilibrium. This equilibrium requires what neuroscientists call brain coherence. True intelligence in leadership relies on seamless communication between three distinct neural centers in the body. First is the head brain, the node responsible for logic, analytical thinking, and creativity. Next, the heart brain processes emotions and compassion, using mirror neurons to emotionally connect with others. Finally, the gut brain handles self-preservation, providing the courage required to take action. Without continuous, clear communication across all three of these centers, a leader will inherently make structurally flawed, highly reactive decisions. These three neural centers run on specific chemical fuels. For leadership behavior, the two primary drivers are cortisol, the hormone deployed during stress, and testosterone, which regulates confidence, concentration, and energy. This matrix maps leadership profiles. Bottom left, low testosterone and low cortisol, creates a calm but weak leader. Bottom right, high cortisol brings nervous insecurity. Top right, both high, creates aggressive volatility. The ideal is the top left, high testosterone and low cortisol, generating quiet, resilient confidence. All the management training in the world cannot fix a leader whose baseline hormonal state constantly drags them back into anxiety or aggression. The ultimate real-world test of that biological optimization is attempting to guide an entire workforce through systemic change. Corporate restructuring feels like a standard business procedure on paper, but physically, the human brain perceives sudden change as a literal survival threat. That perception immediately triggers the limbic system, stripping control away from the logical decision-making cortex. This chart maps the sequence of that biological threat response. When fear spikes, employees are forced through 4 rigid stages. They plunge into active denial, drop further into anger, and only then slowly begin the climb toward exploration and eventual acceptance. If a leader hasn't optimized their own hormonal balance, their mirror neurons will absorb the ambient panic of the room. They will catch the fear, trapping themselves in anger or denial alongside their staff. Success during a restructure depends on the leader's ability to disarm the collective limbic threat response, which must happen before any logistical shifts take hold. How does a biologically coherent leader systematically turn off their team's neural panic alarm? They achieve this by using specific organizational strategies, like top-down directives, bottom-up empowerment, or incremental adjustments, as rigid frameworks to structure the chaos. To restore balance, a leader must provide specific inputs that satisfy the 3 neural centers. Clarity, certainty, and continuity provide the analytical head brain with a predictable map. Cooperation and communication engage the heart's mirror neurons to replace isolation with connection. Finally, projectable confidence and internal consistency stabilize the gut's need for safety, allowing the team to move past the threat response. Delivering these inputs in small, consistent steps physically shifts the employee's brains out of the limbic loop and restores cortex-driven problem-solving. True change management is a biological intervention. A leader can only guide a team's psychology once they have secured absolute homeostasis within their own biology.